So I'm going to show you how to fix a rear wiper motor on a XC70 Volvo. To start, you got to take the thing out, and I've already done that. And it's basically got to be a 12mm bolt for the wiper arm. You'll pull this cover off, and there'll be a 12mm, I guess it's a nut that goes on. And then once you take that off, you'll be able to pry off the wiper arm. You'll just fold it out and you can kind of wiggle it a little and it'll loosen up the splines here, and then you can slide it off. You've got to take this interior cover off, which is just four torque screws. There's one here, and then over on each side there's one. And you got to get this handle off, which is kind of a pain. It snaps in there pretty good, but you can see it's got some slots there to put a screwdriver in and kind of pry it away. Once you get this off, this will pop right off. It is held in with a few little snaps on the back, but those will just pry out. Then after you do that, you've got to take the wiper motor out, and I've got it out right here. And it's just three 10mm bolts that come out, and you want to undo this connector. And from there, you'll be able to kind of wiggle it out of the car. And then once you do all that, come into my cluttered workbench. This is the wiper motor right here. There's got to be this plate on the back side of it, and there'll just be a few torque screws to remove this plate. And then from there, it's got to look like this on the inside. This motor spins, it turns this wheel, it's what operates this back and forth. And what will happen is this shaft that runs from here all the way out to the end will get water inside, it'll rust up, and it'll seize. So what you want to do after you take that cover off, this is going to be in there nice and tight. You're going to want to put it on a vise just like this, so that you have kind of a gap underneath it for that whole assembly. And then you're going to take a piece of wood here. If it's still got the little washer squirter thing, you can pull it out. You'll put a piece of wood here, and you'll just keep tapping it lightly with a hammer. And eventually, this has got to pop out. And when it does start to pop out, be careful, because some things may want to drop down. There's a little washer here that goes on this P-tone in between here and the white gear, and even the gear itself will want to fall off. So let me tap this out. I've already had it part way out, so it should come out fairly easy now. And I've done this probably twice before. It seems to last about 2 years or so, but it's a lot cheaper than buying some kind of replacement. So I've pulled this out, and you can see it's got this rust buildup on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off with like a wire wheel, and I'll lube it up really good. And then I'll put it back in and press it together. Also, if you have like a kind of a stiff bristled or nylon brush, you can wiggle it in and out here. But you can see that this white gear can also come out, and there's no splines or anything to line this up. It doesn't really matter too much how it goes back together. It's got some electric grease stuff on the back. I put it in probably with the hole right about here. And before you put it back together, run your wiper before you put the arm on, and it'll go to where it needs to stop, and then put your arm on, and then you'll know that it's in the off position. Otherwise, if you just put this back together and turn it on with the arm, you may not have it in the right position, and it may bring the wiper down onto the car. But it's as simple as that. This came out a little easier because I'd had it apart 2 years ago. As soon as it starts sticking again, take it out. If you've never removed this and it's been stuck for a while, you may have to hit it fairly hard. Put some penetrating oil down in on the end. But you can clean this and just do it every 2 or so years when it gets stuck, and it'll save you from having to buy a replacement wiper motor. I think these are like $200–300. So I do it as a maintenance because I like having a rear wiper on these cars. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if there's any questions.